Kevin, thanks for your time this morning. 2 months into the job, how are you finding it?
Yes, it's 62 days today since I arrived at Macclesfield. It just seems like a decade, but yes, we're plugging away and hopefully taking little small steps to getting the club established as an EFL side.
Kevin, I want to ask you a few questions about issues which the fans have raised over numerous social media. The first question I want to ask you about is regarding ticketing. I know we had a few issues at the Carlisle home game recently. How have we reacted to that in terms of sorting it out?
Yes, there was major problems at the Carlisle United match, and all credit to the staff in the ticket office who did a magnificent job under very, very difficult circumstances. It was just one of those once-in-a-lifetime events. After the game, we obviously spoke to the providers of the service, the ticketing service, who informed us that they'd had a software malfunction at their end, nothing to do with Macclesfield Town, at their equipment end, and this had caused widespread chaos, not just at Macclesfield Town, but right across their network. They worked very, very hard to resolve it, and they've now assured us they've put safeguards in place that so this can never actually happen again. But it's just like everything. Once something goes wrong, it's just, we try and react as quick as we can, but with the best will in the world, we were just totally overwhelmed on that day with the problems we were faced with the computer system.
And it was a totally different situation with the visit of Bury on Saturday.
That was, yes, totally different. Basically what happened with Bury was they obviously had tickets on sale at their ground for at least 2 to possibly 3 weeks prior to the fixture. When the tickets were returned to us, the information from Bury and from the Greater Manchester Police was that round about 500 to 700 Bury fans would attend the match. So we were working on the assumption that it would probably be about 200 without tickets. What in fact actually happened was over 900 Bury fans turned up, and at least 200, 250 of these arrived after 20 to 3, having been in the Macclesfield town centre area for over an hour. And we know that because the police information said they'd been seen round the town centre for an hour prior to arriving at Moss Rose. I went out to talk to the Bury fans, and I was led to believe that they'd been told they could pay cash at the turnstiles, which is clearly hasn't happened at Moss Rose for many, many years. They said to me that possibly it was on the Bury website, it had misled them. I checked that with my opposite number at Bury, and that doesn't appear to have been the case. We dealt with it as quickly as we could. The stewarding was very good. We tried to keep everybody informed, good humoured, etc. And I think the last Bury supporters were in the ground around about 18 minutes past 3 on Saturday.
Moving on, Kevin, another topic which has been brought up recently is that of the floodlights, and I know that you want to update the fans on what's going on with them.
Yes, it's been a little bit frustrating. We became aware that obviously several bulbs were missing and had gone out of action, and we obviously had to put plans in to try and get this rectified as soon as possible. One of the big problems we have is that we have mobile telephone masts on the pylons, and we have to apply to the mobile telephone companies to get them switched off so it's safe for workmen to go up there because of the radiation levels. This normally takes 7 to 10 days. We were quite lucky in the sense that another company had already applied for an outage on a day, and we arranged for the floodlight engineers to come down and replace the bulbs. So everything would have been done in time for the Bury game. The engineers arrived down here, they travelled all the way from Dundee, the bulbs were here, but unfortunately the local company that was meant to provide the cherry picker for some reason did not send along the cherry picker, and by the time we'd got it organised, we didn't have enough time before the mobile phone companies were switching the masts back on, meaning that the radiation levels would be too high for the workmen to go up and do it. We had a quick meeting on the Friday with the floodlight people, and we've now got another window next week where we're going to have not just the tower that they're originally working on, but both the towers either side of the McElroy stand should be done, and these will be ready for the Yeovil Town game.
So I guess what we're saying is that we're aware of the issue and it's going to be sorted.
Absolutely. We reacted, but unfortunately bad luck or whatever it was, the local company with the cherry picker, and these are just events that are out of our control.
Moving on, Kevin, can you give us an update on Project 21, because obviously it's something which is very important to all of us here at the club?
Oh, absolutely, and I think we've made great strides here. I mean, obviously the appointment of Paul Maguire as the Youth Development Manager, I think is a key part of the jigsaw in this area, and I know Paul will be giving you a much more updated view of what's been happening. Our basic plan is eventually, over a period of time, we will have a fully joined up system from 8 to 9 year olds right through to reserve team football. That's what the aim is, but you have to start somewhere. So we've started with the youth side, which is doing really well at the moment. I think currently top of their league, undefeated. We've now added the 15 to 16 year olds, the development squads. We had trials down here about a week ago, and we've identified our squad players, and these are going to be playing some competitive matches on Moss Rose in the next couple of months, and I think Paul will be announcing the fixture list very, very shortly, so that will be in there. We've also been talking to Macclesfield College, and we're now at the advanced stages of setting up a scholarship programmes to start next September, where we'll have between 10 and 20 people down at Macclesfield Town, training and also doing education at Macclesfield College. We have another meeting in December, but I think by certainly the new year we'll be in a position to launch that scheme. So that will then give us 15-year-olds through to 19-year-olds, and then in the coming years we then start to move backwards and put the underage sides in from 14 back to 9.
In terms of engagement with the supporters, Kevin, can you update us of the things which have been done over the last few weeks to improve that, and also the things which are in the pipeline for the next few weeks?
Yes, I mean, one of the big things during half-term week was the initiative that you yourself organised, the ground tour, which proved immensely successful. And I know we've had other schools now contact us to see if they can come down as part of their education during school time, which is a tremendous step forward. So well done to you for that. That was excellent. The McElroy Suite, for those who've been in the last 2 or 3 weeks, will now know we've got the heating problem totally sorted, which has blighted the place for many years, and it is now a very warm environment. And we are now actively marketing this and trying to get other usage in the coming weeks. I know we've got a public meeting here from the council on one day. We've had funerals. We've had inquiries from people with wanting wedding receptions. In terms of the general layout here, we've obviously got the new picture here which commemorates last year's title winning side in full glorious colour, and we've got further plans to put further pictures up around the McElroy Suite over the coming weeks to commemorate our great history. The club shop coming up to a key time at Christmas, with people looking for gifts. We've appointed somebody from our team of volunteers to oversee that at the moment, and they're going to be looking to expand the product range as well for lower down, reasonably priced items such as commemorative mugs, key rings, those sorts of things. So that will be a big step forward, and I encourage anybody on match days or during the week, just nip into the club shop, because I think you're going to see some quite dramatic improvements in the facilities we can offer there. We've appointed a new full-time receptionist, Sian, who some of you will see if you're coming up to buy match day tickets, and that is again has had a tremendous knock-on effect, because our tremendous team of volunteers now have been freed up and they're now being given specific roles on the day-to-day running of the club, and they're going to make an invaluable contribution and raise our profile and also increase our earning streams. So all in all, very, very positive.
And finally, Kevin, let's not shy away from the fact we've had a difficult start to the season on the pitch, but still much to play for, and whether you've been here 30 years like I have or a couple of months like you have, we're all doing everything we can to get out of this situation and secure our Football League status.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we have got off to a bad start, but if you go back over the league tables for the past several seasons, you'll always see there's 1 or 2 clubs always adrift at this stage of the season, and in 99% of the cases they do not go down. okay, because things do turn round. We're working flat out. You know, Danny and Neil are doing a tremendous job. They're scouring the country, you know, for reinforcements of players to bring in January, or players that are currently out of contract. We've got several of our injured players now well on their way back. Most of them played a reserve match yesterday and came through. We've got a few more minutes under the belt. So I can well see by the end of November, we'll basically have a totally different Macclesfield Town side out on the pitch. And then I expect us, once we've got those players fit, and with a couple of maybe new additions coming in over the few weeks, we'll start moving away from the bottom of the table. Nobody here is even contemplating relegation.
And in terms of last season, we had to show a lot of fight, the heroes behind you, the picture says it all. This season, it's exactly the same. We need to show the same fight, don't we, albeit in a different circumstance.
Absolutely, absolutely. A united football club will always make progress, and history's proved this over many, many years. The clubs that struggle, the clubs that go down, are the clubs that are divided with factions fighting against each other. Okay, no side in recent years in the Football League that has been totally united has ever gone down. If you look last year, Morecambe, a classic case, they were totally resolved and they stayed. Even though they did it by goal difference, they stayed. And maybe some other clubs who had a lot of internal problems, they were the ones that went down. So yeah, stay united and we will definitely get out of this situation.